I go live. I'm live. Okay, so this is the Bible Plan Day 39, Part 1. And if you're confused by the title by that or whatever, that's because this is Part 1. Well, I'm finishing Numbers today, and I'm starting Deuteronomy. And I figured instead of making it where it was one video for 2 books of the Bible, I could just split it up half and half, but it's still 4 chapters in total for a day. But then if I ever sort them into each book, it's not confusing of where it is. So this might get hard later on when there's the 1 chapter books of the Bible. So there's 4 parts in a day. I'm not really sure about those. But for the bigger books, I'm going to do it how I'm talking about doing it right now. So let's get started. Chapter 35, Cities for the Levites. The Lord again spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by Jordan, crossing Jericho. Command the Israelites to give cities out to their hereditary property for the Levites to live in pasture land around the cities. The cities will be for them to live in, and their pasture lands will be for their herds, flocks, and all their other animals. The pasture lands will be of the cities you are to give the Levites will extend from the city wall 500 yards on every side. Measure 1,000 yards outside the city for the east side, 1,000 yards for the south side, 1,000 yards for the west side, and 1,000 yards for the north side, with the city in the center. This will belong to them as the pasture land for the cities. The city you will give to the Levites will include 6 cities of refuge, which you will provide so that the one who kills someone may flee there. In addition to these, give 42 other cities. The total number of cities you give to Levites will be 48, along with their pasture lands. Of the cities that you will give from the Israelites' territory, you should take more from a larger tribe and less from a smaller one. Each tribe is to give some of its cities to Levites in proportion to the inheritance it receives. Cities of refuge. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them, when you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, designate cities to serve as cities of refuge for you, so that a person who kills someone unintentionally may flee there. You would have cities of refuge from the avengers, so that the one who kills someone will not die until he stands in trial before the assembly. Cities you select will be your 6 cities of refuge. Select 3 cities across from Jordan, 3 cities in the land of Canaan to be cities of refuge. These 6 cities will serve as a refuge for the Israelites and for the alien or temporary resident among them, so that anyone who kills a person unintentionally may flee there. If anyone strikes a person with an iron object and death results, he is murdered. The murderer must be put to death. If anyone has in his hand a stone capable of causing death and strikes another person and dies, the murderer must be put to death. If anyone has in his hand a wooden object capable of causing death and strikes another person and dies, the murderer must be put to death. The avenger of blood himself is to kill the murderer. When he finds him, he is to kill him. Likewise, if anyone with hatred pushes a person or throws an object at him with malicious intent and he dies, or if hostility he strikes with his hands and he dies, the one who struck him must be put to death. He is a murderer. The avenger of his blood is to kill the murderer when he finds him. If anyone suddenly pushes a person without hostility or throws an object at him without malicious intent or without looking, drops a stone that could kill a person. Wait, did I already read? I'm confused for a second. Oh yeah, I already did that. I just had a moment where I thought I skipped the entire chapter. We're looking at a stone that cannot kill a person. He dies, but he was not enemy and didn't intend to harm him. The assembly is to judge between the person who kills someone and the avenger of blood according to these ordinances. The assembly is to protect the one who kills someone from the avenger of blood. Then the assembly will return to him the city of the refuge he fled to. He must live there until the death of the high priest who is anointed with the holy oil. The one who kills someone ever goes outside the border of the city of refuge he fled to. The avenger of blood finds him outside the border of the city of refuge and kills him. The avenger will not be guilty of bloodshed. If the one who killed a person was supposed to live in the city of refuge until the death of the high priest. Only after the death of the high priest may the one who had killed the person return to the land he possesses. These instructions will be statutory ordinance for you throughout your generations, wherever you live. If anyone kills a person, the murder is to be put to death on the word of witness. But no one is to be put to death based on the testimony of one witness. You're not to accept a ransom for the life of someone who is guilty of murder. He must be put to death. Neither should you accept a ransom for a person who flees to a city of refuge, allowing him to return to his land, to return and live in his land before the death of the high priest. Do not defile the land where you live, for the bloodshed defiles the land. There can be no atonement for the land because of the bloodshed that is on it, except by the bloodshed of the person who has shed it. Do not make the land unclean where you live and where I dwell, for I, the Lord, reside among the Israelites. The inheritance of Zelophehad's daughters, chapter 36. The family heads from the clan of descendants of Gilead, son of Machar, son of Manasseh, who were the clans of the sons of Joseph, approached and addressed Moses and the leaders who were the heads of Israelite families. They said, "The Lord's commanded my Lord to give the land as an inheritance by lot to the Israelites. My Lord was further commanded by the Lord to give our brother Zelophehad's inheritance to his daughters. If they marry any of the men from the other Israelite tribes, their inheritance will be taken away from our father's inheritance and added to that of the tribe which they marry. Therefore, part of our allotted inheritance will be taken away. When Jubilee comes for the Israelites, their inheritance will be added to that of the tribe which they marry, and their inheritance will be taken away from the inheritance of our ancestral tribe." So Moses commanded the Israelites that the word of the Lord, what the tribe of Joseph's descendants say is right. This is what the Lord has commanded me concerning Zelophehad's daughters. They may marry anyone they like, provided they marry within a clan of their ancestral tribe. No inheritance belonging to Israelites is a transfer from tribe to tribe, because each of the Israelites is retained the inheritance of his ancestral tribe. Any daughter who possesses an inheritance from the Israelite tribe must marry someone from the clan of her ancestral tribe, so that each of the Israelites possess the inheritance of his fathers. No inheritance is a transfer from one tribe to another, because each of the Israelite tribes is to retain its inheritance. The daughters of Zelophehad did as the Lord commanded Moses. Mahalo, Tizar, Haga, Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, married cousins on their father's side. They married men from the clans and descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained within the tribe of their father's clan. These are the commands and ordinances the Lord commanded Israelites through Moses in the plains of Moab, the Jordan, crossing Jericho. I guess I'm going to stop the recording right here, and I'll summarize it. And I guess I'll summarize it right now, actually, and then I'll summarize the next part after I finish that. I'm just trying to do it where that final chapter is going to be, like, in its own thing, but still read as if it was today. But in chapter 34, it starts out talking about the boundaries of the Promised Land. And, like, the leaders were distributing it, and it's all about where the land goes. Wait. I think I was talking about the wrong chapter. So I did 34 yesterday, didn't I? No, I did 33 yesterday. But, yeah, it talks about that, and then it talks about cities for Levites. And then it talks about the cities of the refuge for if you person accidentally got killed, whatever, where they live until they're judged, or where they live if they're found out it's an accident that they killed someone, and all of that happened. So then it talks about the inheritance of Zelophehad's daughters, because since Zelophehad, I'm going to say his name, had no sons, his inheritance wouldn't be able to be distributed among anyone, so it got put to his daughters. But then if they married someone outside of their tribe, then the inheritance of one tribe would go to the different tribe. So it was talking about all they had to do for that. So that is not all for today. It's weird saying that. But I'll see you in the next video, I guess, which will be, for me, right now. Goodbye. For now.